All right, who's ready for the Dirt Life Show?
Yeah. What is up? Episode 28 of the Dirt Life Show. Thank you guys very much for tuning in tonight. We really appreciate you guys always supporting the show. With me tonight, co-host extraordinaire. He's back. Cody Sanders. What's up, dude?
What up, dude? How you doing?
I'm doing good. How about you?
Just keeping it real, man.
Been super busy lately, huh?
Oh, yeah.
That's cool, though, man.
Yeah.
I'm glad to see it. It's awesome always to have you in the studio because, like, even before we started the show, like, we were talking about going to the dunes and having a good time. Like, I just love having that
I've been quite
time.
a few times, man.
How was it last time you went?
It was always good. Good group of people and just busy, man. We
Yeah.
just keep it real for 5 days, you know. And
And you got a lot of stuff coming up, too.
I do got a lot of stuff coming up. I mean, it's been just super busy. I mean, everybody's busy, you know.
Yeah. That's the way it works these days, dude.
Yep.
So tonight's show is going to be packed, man. We got an awesome show for you guys tonight. First thing I would like to ask is for everybody to chime in as much as possible. We are live on Facebook. We're live on YouTube. And we would love to see your guys' comments. We would love to see you guys interacting. We want to see you asking questions to our guest. Our guest tonight is Jeremy Merrell of the Rockstar Energy Polaris RZR UTV Wolfpack. Jeremy's an awesome dude. Him and his brother got me into UTV racing. They've helped mentor me and get everything going for me. So they are just really, really good guys. They have a really awesome family that's into off-road. They've been dirt bike riding. They do all kinds of stuff with the kids. They're just good people, man. He does a lot of photography in the action sports world. I just love those guys, man. Really, really good people, just like you were talking about people at the dunes. So we're going to ask him a bunch of questions. We would love for you guys to ask him questions as well. So feel free to chime in anytime. Hit us up on personal Facebook, the watch parties that we got going on, or on the Dirt Life Show Facebook Live. And you can always chime in on YouTube as well. So we want to, before we get the show started, thank all of our sponsors. We want to thank Shock Therapy. You have a personal tie with them as well.
Oh, man, yep.
How'd it turn out, all the stuff that you got done with your Yamaha YXZ?
I'm blown away. 180 degree difference, man.
So what did they do to that thing?
So they put the shocks to revalves, and then
It looked like you got some sway bars and
I
stuff,
got the
right?
front sway bar. Huge. Makes a huge difference. And I didn't know that that's what they were throwing on, man. So when I got
Like with stability and stuff?
Yeah, I've been out in the sand. I haven't been to the big dunes since then. But I've put it to the test, man, and kind of dialing it all in. And
You launched it a few times?
it's doing a lot better.
Sweet.
I'll tell you that.
How does Carly like it sitting in the passenger seat?
She's absolutely loving every
Really?
second. Yeah, I mean, she's like, this is crazy. And I found out that I had that front left blown shock. So, but I started noticing a difference.
That was probably pretty good getting all that stuff repaired.
Oh,
then.
yeah, man. They hooked me up, and great family-oriented business over there, man. Justin's a great guy. Steve-O's awesome, man. They're all so good.
Yeah,
they're just
everybody
nice
over
people,
there.
man.
Yeah.
They're willing to help people out, and if you got questions, I can call anytime.
That's what I was saying earlier on the show is like we started this show because we all love the dirt. We all love to hang out. We all love to go riding and stuff. And everybody that we have as partners on the show has always been number one, like friends and family kind of shit first,
Yep.
Like we don't want to have companies that just want to be part of the show
Right.
just to be part of the show. It's so good to have companies like that. I'm glad they were able to hook you up, man. It's neat to see. One of these days I got to drive that thing.
Yeah, you're gonna love it, man. It's great. I like I said, I'm completely blown away of how it feels, and it's a whole new car.
That's awesome. Well, a bunch of our listeners have used the code Dirt Life to get discounts with Shock Therapy. They've done their YXZs. A couple guys have done their Polaris. It's been pretty cool to see. So anybody that wants to have their Shock Therapy do their car, you can always hit them up. Use the code Dirt Life when you call them. Use the code Dirt Life on their website and save a whole bunch of money. We also want to thank the guys at Zollinger Racing Products. They're still doing stuff in the snow with snowmobiles and stuff. I guess the snow hasn't melted quite yet. But you can use the code DIRTLIFE to save on anything side-by-side, man. They have radius rods. They got all kinds of crazy billet aluminum
Get shocky,
stuff.
man.
Yeah. They just have so much stuff. So use the code DIRTLIFE at ZollingerRacing.com, excuse me, and save a big old fat discount over there. We also want to thank the guys at Solder Weld. Those guys are just so awesome. They make an off-road repair kit that you can take on your vehicle. It's basically like a first aid kit. So anytime you have any metal damage, you can repair it on the trail. And all you need is MAP gas or some sort of butane, some sort of torch, and you can repair it just like you would welding it in the shop. And those guys have saved my butt a bunch of times. So we're glad to have those guys on board as well. Lance and Vanessa and everybody at Solder Weld just kicking butt. So thank you to them. Yeah, man. So
let's hear about your first back dune trip.
Yeah, that's
the new George Hamill.
I don't know. The unicorn was back at the dunes. I don't know if the new George Hamill is a good name. Like I kind of felt a little bit like the old George Hamill, but I did have some issues. However, well, let's preface it a little bit for some people that may be new and tuning in. I had a pretty bad accident a year ago, 10 months ago at the UTV World Championship in April of 2019 and damaged my face and just had a pretty horrific injury. And thank God I got able to be at the position I am now to be able to drive the unicorn again. And I had a bunch of people supporting me through the year and stuff like that. So I really appreciate everybody helping. And it got me to the point where I could go back to the dunes again. And we took the Yamaha YXZ that we have called the Unicorn and went out there and had some fun. I was a little bit, I don't know, timid or scared. I don't know what word you want to use for it. But I went out there and I kind of just wanted to go by myself, so I told everybody in camp that I was just going to go take some pictures. And I just went in the small dunes real quick, and I was like, dude, like, this is gnarly. Like, I don't know if I'm going to be able to do it. Like, I couldn't see very well. I was, like, getting, like, the shadow. You know how the dunes are. Yeah. Like, for a normal person, right, the shadows and stuff can get confusing, like, depending on the lighting. Yeah. And you can't see certain things. You got drop-offs. You got to go over hills sideways. And just the way the dunes are. I mean, it just is what it is, right? And you're a very good dune rider. You've been doing it for a long time. And so you understand all the ways that you have to do. My brain understood it, but my body didn't really react the way that it should have. But I kind of started going throughout the weekend. We went on a couple rides, and I started getting it, and I started understanding it a little bit better and seeing how my eyes worked and how my ears worked and everything. And it was good. I wouldn't say it was great, but it was good. And the best thing about the whole weekend was I was out there with friends and family. Yeah. Like you said, like, it kind of makes me want to tear up because truthfully, I had a great time. Yeah. It was awesome. It was so cool to see. And then, there was probably 10 or 15 people that I had no idea who they were. They were just fans of the Dirt Life show, showed up and hung out, man, and went on rides and did all kinds of cool stuff. It was awesome. Yeah. My biggest worry for you was the G outs. Of how your body was going to react to that and how your head would feel when you came to those. And that was like what I thought about all weekend. I was like, man, I wonder how he feels in them G outs, man. I had to kind of keep it mellow. Like, I didn't go hard. You know what I mean? Mm-hmm. Like, I went and did some, like, got on the gas, maybe 3/4 throttle and stuff like that. But I made sure that I didn't push it, like, overdo it. Yeah. So it was super fun, and we met a lot of cool people. And like I said, I mean, the whole thing, like, even if I didn't get to ride and I just got to hang out with everybody, that would have been totally worth it. So it meant a lot to me to see everybody there. And even, like when we went to Dooner's Diner, you know where that is in Gordonsville. We made a trip from Glamis in the flats by Vendors Row. We made a trip all the way out there. We kind of duned it over there. It was pretty fun. Actually, it was a super good ride. And when we got there, we saw a couple people that we had seen out in the dunes. And they even knew about the Dirt Life show there, too. So I really think that the show is doing well, and it's gaining some traction, and it's neat to see other people recognizing it, you know what I mean? So I'm excited for it. I really am. So hopefully you've been seeing some people liking the show, too, huh? Oh, yeah. I still get the notifications. And really? It's daily, man. Yeah, it's good. It's great. That is super cool. All right. Well, so I definitely appreciate everybody. And I was thinking about it today, too, even before the show, just a couple minutes ago. We got a call from Don at Best in the Desert. Yep. He gave me a buzz and just wanted to check in, see how things were going. It's so cool to see an organization like Best in the Desert putting effort back into the people that support them, like racers and people that get hurt and stuff. He called us to tell us that he made some changes to the Laughlin track because of the things that had happened to me last year. Make it safer. And not just to make it safer, and he was very honest about it. He said, George, I wish obviously it didn't happen to you, but I can make it better for other racers. And I think that that's all they can do, and I think that's fantastic that they take it on themselves to make it better for everybody. Like, that's a great, great leadership quality for an organization to have. Yeah. So I appreciate Don giving us a call. Maybe we'll have him on the show in the next couple months or something. It'll be pretty cool. What have you been up to, man, before we start talking about Supercross?
Man, working and trying to save money.
Get that cash going for lake season?
Yeah, I get a couple of lemons thrown at me, and you just kind of, roll with it, But, just staying busy, working, and got some events coming up, and that's, that takes time, too. It takes a lot of time.
Side hustle stuff,
man. So it's cool. Making people happy. It's what I like to do. So.
Yeah, you do a very good job of that, man.
Sure.
The one of the things like that I got at the dunes was we got this I don't know what you would call it, plaque or framed picture of the fundraiser that you did for me. That was pretty cool, man, and it has all the autographs and stuff on it. So thank you very much to Frank and Tiffany and Jeff Angel and everybody, and you obviously, and Brian Ford, everybody that helped out. It was super cool to have that, man. And I got teeth. Yes,
you got teeth.
So just real quick, we got a couple people that chimed in. Your mom chimed in. Hey,
my mom's watching.
So hi, Kathy. Adam Pacheco chimed in, and he was saying when we were little kids, he actually got his face crushed in the dunes, and it took him 28 years to get back out there. So
hey, he's getting. Hey,
Adam, I beat you by 27 years, bud.
Hey, he's back. He's hitting it hard, man. He's going to a couple other people that we know, and I see all the pictures and stuff, and he's actually getting involved and getting big into it. So,
side by sides, man. With age comes a cage, Adam.
Yep.
Alfonso chimed in too. He was actually out at Glamis with us, and he wanted to say sorry to his wife Ashley because he got a little nasty out there. she torqued her neck a little bit, so that was pretty cool that they came out. They came out with their dog Diesel, and Diesel was riding in their dad's sandrail.
Nice,
just
hanging out
in the passenger seat.
Doom pup, man.
So I got some cool GoPro footage of it. I was telling him, I was like, dude, this is going to be the best footage of the whole trip. Just because the dog's just sitting there having a great time. Dad's getting all nasty. It was awesome, dude. So I can't wait to review the GoPro footage. I'd like to see if I could put together a little vlog style edit and maybe show the dirt life in Glamis.
Yeah.
So
that was cool. I always wanted to do a live show down there whenever, maybe next season.
It would be cool. I don't know if we could do it live, though, because of the internet connection. So we'll see. Maybe we'll do something. We'll just put it on iTunes and put it on YouTube afterwards.
I'm sure that Justin would love to be back on it.
That would be cool.
He'll wear his mullet.
Do it with the guys at Shock Therapy and have a little taco party at the same time.
I'm in.
So, So again, we can't thank everybody enough for tuning in, for coming out, supporting the show, showing up in Glamis, stopping by the camp, everything that everybody does, man. When they support you, support me, everything. It's so cool. I can't wait to just get the show to episode 100 and see how awesome it is to just go shake everybody's
already, though. Look how fast that hit.
It's crazy. And I was looking at it the other day, too. And our first show was August 12th, I think, or August 9th. So it's been 8 months now. So for that short a period of time, man, it's going pretty good. I think it's awesome that people are into it. So we're definitely into it. And one of the other topics that we want to talk about is Supercross. And so I think we'll probably talk with Casey. I think he's going to call in today, and we'll see what he has to say. But Atlanta Supercross this weekend did not disappoint.
No,
dude.
Not at all.
There was a couple races this season that I think were pretty legit.
Yeah.
But Atlanta, hot Atlanta.
Hot Atlanta.
It was
Slip Atlanta.
It was pretty gnarly, dude. So let's kind of go back a little bit. So the race before was Arlington, Texas. Everybody was eating crap, got hurt. Adam Cincerillo got hurt. Cooper Webb tore himself up. Yeah. But he was able to come back and still race. So that was cool. Who were you going for this weekend in Atlanta?
My normal is obviously Barsha and then Roxon. That's always been my top two riders. Always have. Barsha has definitely been my number one for many years. He just, I don't know.
Looks like Casey's giving us a call in here too. So we'll see what he has to say. Case, are you there? Hang on one second, bud. Let me put you on the audio. So, Case, are you there?
Yep, I'm here. What's up, fellas?
Where you going there?
How's it going, dude? You feeling a little under the weather or what?
Yeah, definitely feeling under the weather. I'm high on NyQuil at the moment, so we're good.
Nice.
So we'll see how it goes. See how you're
sipping on that scissor, dude.
See how his Supercross review goes. Maybe he'll throw in some wacky reviews tonight. Yeah, I think I got the coronavirus too. I was telling Cody I think I'm gonna have to get wash it down with some White Claws, get the White Claw virus going. Yep.
I know. I was going to say, are you sure? Are you sure it's coronavirus and not like Mick Ultra or something?
Yeah, I know.
Hey now.
I think if it were anything for me, I think I'd probably do the Patron virus. Patron's my favorite.
Hey, I had some before the show, man.
Sweet. And you're mixing it with that scissor right
That's
there.
right there.
Gatorade.
There's my own scissor.
So we were just getting into talking about the Atlanta Supercross case. What do you think, bud?
Dude, I'm sure everybody said the same thing, but how insane was the 450 main?
Brutally crazy.
Dude, it was pretty intense, man. So let's not go all the way into it just yet. Let's lead up to it. But so first thing I wanted to say was awesome job to Steve Westfall, our last week's guest, and his team with Rockstar Energy Husqvarna. They did an amazing job this weekend. RJ Hampshire came home second in the 250 class, and Jason Anderson was honestly, dude, he was on a tear in the 450 class. He had some bad luck, but dude, they did awesome.
Yeah, he looked awesome. He looked awesome. Just a couple little teeny mistakes, and they made a difference, obviously, but he was for sure up there.
It was pretty cool to see, man. And just having Steve on last week, it's like you just want to root for those guys now. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
No doubt.
So RJ Hampshire did good. I never really even I don't want to say wasn't a fan or was a fan. I just was kind of, Switzerland on it. Like I didn't really know the dude or anything. And then when I started seeing him battle with like Chase Sexton and Shane McElrath, I was like, dude, this guy's got something.
It's my favorite. Like I was telling you earlier, man, this season right now is really, it's one of my favorite seasons in a long time.
Yeah.
Because everybody could be anybody now.
So it's not like one or two dudes,
right.
You mean? Like it's like 10 dudes?
Yeah, it's not like, it's for sure, it's going to be
even in the 250s, huh?
Yeah, everybody. It's everybody's race, and it makes it very cool to watch.
What do you think, Case?
Yeah, I couldn't agree more. I think in the 250s it's a little more sorted out, but there's still guys that haven't really shown it all yet.
Yeah.
But yeah, I agree. Hampshire looked awesome. I think he's kind of one of those under the radar guys, like you said, George. But yeah, I mean, huge respect, and he's earning it for sure. He definitely belongs up there. Well, I wouldn't be surprised to see him on the top here, before the year's done.
That's what I was feeling too. And you know what? I felt like the 250 class kind of laid a little bit of the frame, I don't know, tempo or whatever for the night, because I don't know how to explain it or how to mention the words, but desperate is probably not the right word. But most of those guys, it looks like they're feeling kind of desperate, and we can get into 450s, but they're not just going like fast to pass somebody. They're going fast enough to try to knock somebody out of the way to be able to get by them, because they can't like push themselves past that easily anymore. It's so competitive.
Yeah, I think it's like every single move that gets made is for like that next couple points. Like there's no doubt in my mind. I mean, we watched Cooper go from he's going to get through the race to like halfway through. I was texting Jeremy Joie, and I'm like, dude, is he really going to get on the podium? I can't believe how smart that guy is. We've said that every week, and it just blows my mind that, how about that last pass that he put, that last lap pass where he did that double apex? Like, How do you pull that out of the bag right there? That was just so awesome.
The amount of like intense thinking that guy can do on the fly is just like, it makes you want to be that smart.
Right.
Like it really does.
It's definitely flashing back to like how he rode in his, just about, well, it wasn't a perfect season, but his awesome 250 season, like his last season. It's amazing. But again, props to Roxon for doing what he needed to do. I don't know about you guys, but I think we finally saw Tomac crack a little bit and get back to his old ways. Like they got into his head, and it sure seemed like Webb started that, from the beginning of the day, hopping right in with practice. I know they said that on the TV coverage, but it was obvious that something was going on with him, because he was different that night. And all it took was Barsha to ruffle his feathers, and he kind of got all crazy.
I don't even think it was Barsha that ruffled his feathers first. I think it was the number 4, Blake Baggett, man.
Yeah, I'm not sure. And then that pass there, it's just like, what the heck happened?
And then Baggett tried to get all Weston Pike on him, dude.
Yeah,
jumped on top of him and like tried to tackle him. I thought that was pretty good. What's up, Brian Myers? It's good to see you chiming in, man. I really appreciate you commenting. Yeah, so the 450 class, it was pretty intense, man. Oh, obviously Roxon walked away with it. Like he just waxed everybody. So that was pretty cool to see. And I don't want to take anything away from him. I mean, there was much better racing, like for the TV coverage, like to watch the battles in the second through 10th or whatever. So the TV coverage, the TV coverage had that. But let's just give him kudos because he deserves it.
Yeah.
Like you got to remember. I mean, even though he's won one race and he got past that little hump where he got over his injury, he's still injured, dude. Like this guy is still busted up, but he's doing it.
Right.
How do you guys feel on the? Right. Was it just me this weekend watching the way the track was built? It seemed a lot narrow. Narrow to you?
Kind of. I didn't enjoy. Casey and I talked about this last week. I still don't like the stupid split lanes. I think they're so dumb.
Yeah, they're weird, but it seemed narrow this year. What
it does is go ahead, Casey. Yeah. Go ahead.
I was going to say I think it gave that feeling of narrow because all the ruts.
Oh,
and,
maybe.
You know, it obviously wasn't as bad as it usually gets there, but it for sure that definitely seemed to tighten everything up. I would agree.
Yeah, well, and also the split lane made it so that you would have going into the split lane and coming out of the split lane, those two sections before it, you would be one lined because it was so you would have to set up for the split lane and set up coming out of the split lane. You'd have to recover from that. So it made it so that the track seemed one lined in those two sections as well. So you basically have three sections that are all messed up because of one split lane.
Right. Agreed. Did you guys catch that? I don't know, maybe about 6 laps to go or so. Webb figured that outside line out where he was like doing that seat mount and landing it perfect and hitting that inside line. That was like, it couldn't have been more perfect.
Yeah. Well, you couldn't get over that little triple in that outside split lane all the way because of that rut and the little kicker that it had on it. So he just said, okay, I'll clip the top of the third bump and I'll just slow myself down and just hug the inside.
It was perfect.
It really was. And that's exactly what you were talking about. Like the mental capacity that he has during his race and his racecraft is just insane. It's like way above everybody else.
I know. I hate to say it, but for agree and way more. I mean, as I watch him struggle through this, just way more respect. He's earning it every race. And back to the every point counts. I mean, how about when he fended off that pass in the last corner, going across all the ruts with Topaz. That too, it was just amazing.
He really did. He like grabbed a gear or grabbed a thread. You could see his bike like pop forward.
Yeah, it looked to me like he was struggling.
It's okay though. He struggled it right to the finish.
20 minutes. That's a long time, man.
Well, so I watched the press conference this morning actually, and he didn't even show up for the press conference case. He just went straight to the doctor afterwards. He was hurting so bad.
Wow, that's pretty impressive.
Yeah, so they obviously had the podium at the press conference, but Cooper was not there because he went straight to the doctor. So I wanted to get Josh Shorter, one of our previous guests, on the phone just to talk and see like what he was thinking about it too. But he was flying from Canada back home today, so maybe we'll get in touch with him in the next couple weeks here.
Nice.
So that'll be pretty cool. Well, anything like stand out to you other than Cinderella not being there?
Rub it in. No, again, just and Webb, and then these are the takeaways for me. Roxon now knows that he can rattle Tomac. It's obvious, right? If he's analyzing the race, I'm sure he is, like everybody else is. We are. He can see that guy's not very sound when he gets his cage rattled. It couldn't be more obvious. So I'm sure he's got that in his back pocket, even though he's not that kind of guy. He's not the intimidator.
I kind of feel I was going to say that same thing. I would be like, I don't think Roxon really cares about that. And then, but like Barsha, he's like, yeah, dude, I'm going to scramble this guy.
Yeah. Totally. And that's what I was just going to say. He can just sit back and let Barsha do it. Because now they've got a little thing going now.
One of the other things that I wanted to bring up too was Martin Davalos. When he was up there. I mean, I've been Switzerland on that guy too, and like when I saw him up there, I was like, yeah, dude, like, can you please stay up here and get on the podium? I just want to see what he was going to say.
Yeah, totally. I was pretty stoked for him too. I think we all were. And then the last thing that I would say it again just goes back to what Cody was saying. It's so freaking close. Think of the guys that were second and third for 3/4 of the race, and now they're what, 8th and 10th or whatever.
Yeah, because they got passed by 2 or 3 dudes on the last lap.
Oh my gosh, it was cool to see Hill up there. I think he's got some more coming. And then obviously we need to have Anderson up there. He needs to join the party a little more, and I think he will.
Was wall riding.
He really
tunnel,
was,
man.
Yeah.
I was like, what the hell?
For sure.
What do you mean?
He hit the tunnel and and came off the wall.
Oh, when he did that little, and he blocked his teammate or whatever.
Weird, man.
That did suck. I was bummed on that. But he was going for it. I actually really liked that tunnel because there was 2 lines. There was an outside line that you could square up like a short course race, and you could come out on the inside going down backwards down the front straightaway, or you could round it out through the tunnel. I thought those were pretty cool lines.
Yeah, that was a good feature for sure.
All right, man. Well, I don't want to cut you off, Case. Thank you so much, dude. I hope you get some rest tonight. We're going to talk with our featured guest tonight, Jeremy Merrell. So hopefully you can tune in and we don't put you all the way to sleep.
No, sounds good. I'm glad you had a good time at the dunes, and we'll catch up later.
Thanks, bud.
Enjoy
hope you feel
better.
See you guys
later, man. So thank you very much, Case, for giving us some insight on what he thought Supercross was like this weekend. Dude, honestly, I think it all goes back to what you brought up. Holy crap. There's 10 dudes that can win.
I know. It's anybody now, and it makes it really exciting to sit and watch.
So since we were kids, let's try to think about this. Damon Bradshaw and Jeff Stanton, maybe one other dude. Okay, so that's 2 or 3. Ricky Carmichael, Chad Reed, James Stewart, that's 2 or 3.
Jimmy Button was around there too.
Right, but there was never 10 dudes that could win. There was always 2 or 3,
no,
right?
Yeah, but Travis Pastrana, you had Ricky Carmichael, then you had Chad Reed. And it was Stewart came in, and it just kind of was all over the place. And then Pastrana left, and then it just kind of from there on, it was season here. This person's running this season. Next season come up different. You know?
Yeah, it was never 10 dudes could win, though.
Right.
It's so awesome to see. And I think Casey brought up a good point, though, too, is and I don't think it's just Tomac. I think there's a bunch of dudes that are getting their cage rattled. Going out there and being well, Davalos, he did awesome, but on the last lap, he got passed by, what, 2 or 3 guys? How much does that rattle your cage? You're oh, fuck,
even
man.
Even in the back with Bloss, man.
Bloss?
Bloss.
Yeah.
Yeah. He's usually way in the back, and he was middle of the pack, I think it was this time, too. He's coming back. It's anybody now. That's what's really exciting.
Dude, I love that, man. We got to have another Supercross party one of these days. Just all watch it. I think it'd be fun. Maybe then I could get on Team Patron and see if I could have a couple drinks instead of doing it at the dunes. Okay, well, so thank you very much, Case, for giving us a call. Thanks, Brian, for commenting in, letting us know that he agrees with Cody that Supercross is pretty badass this year. It is 7:30 right now. We're going to go to a commercial break, and we will be right back with our guest, Jeremy Merrell. So we will see you guys in just a second.
Hello, I'm Justin, the founder of Shock Therapy. Shock Therapy has been around for 5 years, but we have personally been tuning suspension on off-road cars and race vehicles for over 25 years. We tune between 10 and 15 cars per day, every single day of the week. Our concentration is tuning shock systems and supplying components that improve the ride quality of your car in many ways. Not only do we work on the average UTV, but we also tune suspension for race teams and professional drivers. We currently tune for over 87 race teams in Best in Desert and Score. Our clients and race teams rely on our suspension components to allow them to win races and keep them safe. Suspension is a moving target. We are always trying to hit that target with every customer that we work with. Each customer's needs can be different, and we tune our kits accordingly. Our research and development never stops. We improve our components every single day. As the industry evolves and improves, so do our parts and kits. As of right now, we have over 100 products for UTVs. So when you bring your car to us, you have the satisfaction of knowing that you have the most experience, the highest quality products, and the fact that your car is being tuned specifically to you.
Zollinger Racing builds the best aftermarket products available. Products for your UTV or snowmobile, including billet radius rods, billet tie rods, billet steering knuckles, billet steering racks, alternator kits, and much more. All manufactured in the United States in-house at their headquarters in Nibley, Utah. Travis Zollinger and his team test in some of the most brutal conditions, racing in places like the Best in the Desert Mint 400, Ultra 4 King of the Hammers, UTV World Championships, and many more. Visit ZollingerRacingProducts.com and use the code DIRTLIFE to get 10% off your next purchase, and join us on social media at Zollinger Racing Products to see our products in action. Zollinger Racing, the best products, period. Yeah, finally, we got Lance from Solderweld in the studio. Thanks for coming down, bud. Hey, why don't we just record a commercial now?
Yeah, why not? So good to be here, man. It's been a lot. I've been trying to get down here forever, and I wanted to talk about the off-road kit.
Dude, I love those things. I got it in my pack.
Yeah, we're running hundreds of vehicles now running them, whether it's a UTV or some guy's got it in a backpack on his motocross. He's got everything he needs to make a fix right there on the fly, out on the trail, or in the desert, whatever it is.
Well, since I've already used one, I kind of know what to use it for, but explain what it does.
All right, so let's pull one out real quick. You've got your aluminum rods. Remember, they're rods, right? So, light torch, small torch. You can throw it in there or throw it on the rig with your flux. It decontaminates and cleans like let's say a radiator. You get a random rock chip runs through as you're racing. You get a rock chip in a radiator. You got to fix it right there, or you're out of the race.
You can patch it up
instead of patch it up. It's all good to go.
Yep, just like welding.
Yeah. Also, as well with that, you've got a brake line fix. So with your flux, you can fix a brake line, stainless steel. And then your hot block, heat absorption putty. So it keeps you from getting burned, number one, as well as keeps the heat from traveling. So it's really nice.
I've used this not even to fix anything, so that stuff works so good, man.
Listen, it's easy. It straps in nicely so that you have everything you need in one little place, and you don't have to carry a big bag in the
It's like a first aid kit for your vehicle.
Yeah, Chase trucks have it as well, so that if they need to make a fix on the fly, they can get it done and get it done quick and get you back in the race.
Dude, those things are so cool. All right, so it's at Solderweld on Instagram, Facebook, and solderweld.com.
Awesome.
All right, thanks, bud.
Appreciate it.
All right.
Welcome back, everybody. Thank you very much. Episode 28 is in effect, man. We got our featured guest, all-time badass, UTV extraordinaire. Him and his brother have basically started Lucas Oil short course off-road racing. He is a Polaris racer, Rockstar Energy, UTV Wolfpack driver, photographer, all-around action sports guy, Jeremy Merrell. What's up, bud?
How's it going? Wow, that was quite the introduction. Thank you.
Wow.
Stoked to be here. Longtime friend, George Hamill, and appreciate you inviting me on the show.
Dude, we're just stoked that you made some time for us, man. I really appreciate it. You're a busy dude, and you always got something going on, so we really appreciate you taking the time for the Dirt Life show.
Yeah, I think that idle hands are of the devil, so we try to stay busy and do a lot of fun stuff and try to live this razor life the best that we can, and I think that we're shoulders deep in it now at this point.
Dude, you really are, and you guys have been on the forefront of it for a long time. Like, we'll get into it a little bit, but I think some of the stuff, like even before when we were at commercial break, you were talking about doing some projects in the snow with those snow tracks. You guys have been doing like dune projects. Obviously, you guys do projects in the desert and stuff. But before we get into all that cool stuff, dude, let's take a look at your life, man. How did you even get into the dirt life?
Well, I was very fortunate in the fact that, my older brother, Jared, was always into dirt bikes. And, lucky for us, he bought and sold ATVs and three-wheelers and motorcycles. So, my whole life growing up, we always had toys in the garage and always had fun stuff to do. And it was funny. It's not like my brother made, a ton of money back then. He he detailed cars for a living, but he would take the little bit of money that he had, and he would actually, spend the time taking my younger brother and us out to the desert and out to the tracks, and really spend a lot of time doing the type of things that, like, your father would normally do. My father worked a lot, so he's doing construction, and he was pretty busy with that, taking care of 5 kids. So I was very fortunate in the fact that we grew up being able to do those things and have fun. And we had a pretty decent sized property in Anaheim Hills, and we were able to go dirt bike riding right in the backyard. And I was kind of like Dennis the Menace as a kid. I was ripping around the neighborhood on my dirt bike and causing trouble, and riding to my buddies' houses. And there were some hills that were right behind us, and Jeff Matazovich, he had a house right behind there. So as a kid, I used to ride my dirt bike back there and go watch Jeff Matazovich just throw the craziest tricks and jumping up cliffs, and really inspired me to step it up on my motorcycle. And then I spent a little bit of time hitting ramps and doing freestyle. But
that's
like
got
they
to be
say,
some
with
serious motivation having Matazovich back there.
Yeah, I mean, watching that guy rip around on a motorcycle, and it's crazy because when you see these pros, you see them in a closed, confined motorcycle track a lot of the times, and to see someone in natural terrain just rip it up and do stuff that you didn't even think was possible on a dirt bike, it really opens your mind to the creativity that goes behind, looking at different sections of dirt and turn it into something that can be really fun.
Dude,
so
that's
that
a
was,
good point.
that
It's
was,
almost
that was
like
cool.
it's almost like being an artist though, that you can carve with your dirt bike. That's a super good way to look at it.
Yeah, and I see there's a lot of dudes that are still, out there doing that, keeping that alive. Twitch and all those guys, they're going out in the hills and, shaping jumps and building stuff with a shovel. So that's pretty cool.
Yeah, it is pretty cool. And so you grew up in a pretty big family. You got a sister and 3 brothers or 4 brothers?
Yeah, I got 2 older brothers. I got a younger brother that I'm partners with in UTV Wolfpack, and then I got a younger sister. So we got 5 in our family, and then I have 9 nephews and a niece. So it's not getting any smaller. And it's funny because all the kids go to the track. They were all there this weekend with my brother. All my nephews got dirt bikes, so we show up to the track, and it's like a motocross team. It's hilarious. My brother's really riding, cool. And then all the kids, yeah.
So if you guys don't follow either the UTV Wolfpack or follow Jeremy or his brother Jason, which is a good friend of mine as well, follow them on Instagram, man. They have such good stuff. Like, I love watching it. Like, obviously they have cool pictures of razors and stuff like that, but and obviously their UTV parts, but some of my favorite stuff is watching them with their family, like going out and living the dirt life. I mean, like, so watching all the kids go out there riding, like, it is so cool to see that, man. It just brings back so many memories. So it's jeremy.merrell, Merrell, and then at UTV Wolfpack as well. So those are both good social medias to follow. You won't be disappointed, that's for sure.
Yeah, it's pretty cool being able to watch all the kids grow up and get better on their bikes and kind of do what we did when we were kids. And our favorite thing to do, just be on a motorcycle and twist the throttle and have that freedom.
Yeah, it is. It's super cool. And so you obviously got into dirt bikes because of the family and that stuff. Did you want to be a professional dirt bike racer, or what were your desires when you were a little kid? Like, what did you want to do?
Well, I think that any kid that rides a motorcycle, they always have the aspirations of, wanting to be a professional motocross rider. Going to Supercross, I've been going there since I was a little kid and watching that. But as you may know, motocross is a very expensive sport if you want to be a professional at it. And, it just wasn't in the cards for someone like myself. So it was more of a hobby than trying to go after a profession, just because it's, to be at that level and ride with those guys, you got to have the support behind you. And, unfortunately, my dad was raising 5 kids, not going to the track with me, taking us racing.
Yeah, exactly. And don't discount your dad, though. Like, Les is an awesome dude, man. It will do anything for his kids, and he's always there for supporting them, man. He's been to the track so many times, and he's just one of the most chill guys. He's just out there helping everybody. So we love that dude.
Yeah, that's definitely something that I can say about my dad. My brother, when he was wrestling, there's not one wrestling tournament that he ever missed. There's not one race that my older brother Josh raced. He never missed one of his races, and he's never missed any of our races. So, he's very supportive in that aspect for sure.
Yeah, it's super cool to see. Just like my dad is, and obviously your dad's really supportive of you. So that's one of the things and one of the reasons that we started the Dirt Life Show is because we see a lot of that and a lot of good qualities in people like yourself, Cody, when they grow up in an environment like that where it's so family-oriented that they're always around their family, there's a support mechanism, it really tunes you up to be a different type of human being in the long run. It's fantastic to see that stuff.
No, I agree. I think that that's what's really cool about off-road. A family that I'd like to mention, the Anderson family, they're very much like that where, they're at the track and they're helping other people. And, their dad's has played a very big role in their racing and helped them a lot. And it's cool that, someone like, Randy Anderson, when we first started racing, would come over and help us personally on, setting up our shocks. And, that's huge that guys like that are willing to come over and just lend a hand. And I think that off-road has that aspect to it where everybody tries to help each other out and, supports each other, even if you're racing against one another,
Dude, 100%, yeah. And kudos to you guys, though, too, because you guys did the same thing. Randy Anderson helped me a bunch of times, too. But you and your brother Jason with the UTV Wolfpack both got me in my first race side by side. I used one of, I think it was yours or your brother's. I don't remember which one I bought. But you guys got me in a RZR 900 and then kind of took me under your wing and helped me with some of the current sponsors that you had at the time, and basically just showed me the ropes, man.
I remember that.
I couldn't have done half the stuff I did without these guys, and they did all the stuff. They taught us so much, man. It was awesome.
Yeah, well, we definitely had a good time with you and your dad at the track. That's for sure.
I remember that one time we were at Lake Elsinore. We had a few drinks afterwards, man. That was a good time.
Yeah, I don't think your dad's allowed around moonshine anymore.
Dude,
he got cut off.
I could picture that real quick.
It was pretty fun, man. I think Shayna was there too. That was a good time, dude. That was a really good time. But Lake Elsinore was actually pretty fun track, though.
Yeah, the Lucas short course days, those were fun. That was I learned a lot there. I learned to work on my car, learn how to do a lot of stuff that has prepared us for, desert racing, which obviously there's way more that goes into that. Short course is really a good breeding ground for any type of racing and a good place to start for sure.
Well, let's go back a little bit before we talk about the short course stuff, because you guys had championships and all kinds of cool stuff there. But so the dirt bike stuff, you decided that it wasn't going to turn into a profession. So what did you end up doing? You started looking elsewhere to make income, like doing photography and videography and stuff, or what was the catalyst behind that?
Yeah, I think that, snowboarding, motorcycle riding, BMXing, those were the main sports that I was always interested in. Growing up, I wasn't really into organized sports. I wrestled, and did football, but they just didn't really feel right for me. So I stuck to those. And then, when I saw the side-by-sides coming out and we kind of saw the writing on the wall with these machines just getting better and better and, having that dirt lifestyle, you see these machines, you just want to get in them and try to have fun and start racing. And it seemed like something we'd be able to do and pull off on our own with the XP 900s and be able to do that without having it be, too much of a strain on yourself. Getting into big desert racing and stuff like that. You got the chase trucks, you got a team that you need. The short course was an easy way for us to climb into a vehicle and start racing and having fun. And I mean, that's what it was really about, was just having fun.
Yeah, and I think that was all around the same time, when Cody did some, freestyle riding and different things like that.
Stuff,
and you got kind of the same aspect, right? You liked, you didn't really care about the team sports. You wanted to be doing your own thing.
Yeah, I mean, I started riding. I had a CR60 at I think 9 or 10 years old.
And then when you saw the RZR 800s coming out, the Rhinos, and what he's saying with the RZR 900s, you kind of felt the same way, oh, this might take off.
Yeah, but I had never even thought about owning one. I'm like, dude, they're so expensive, when I was young, and I don't know. Now they're crazy.
But what Jeremy's talking about, when he's talking about they're affordable, they're a good medium. You know what I mean? not everybody's going to get a trophy truck. That's few and far between, right? And like what he's saying with all the chase trucks and all this money that's being spent, the UTVs really did bring a lot of light to the off-road market, man. It was pretty cool to see. And I remember seeing, like, I didn't even know these guys, like him and his brother, and I would see his big brother, Josh, racing a Pro 4 in Lucas Short Course, and obviously they were racing and winning championships before I ever even gotten a RZR. It was like they were like my idols, you know what I mean? Like he was talking about Jeff Matasevich. That's what these guys were to me in the UTVs racing. Yeah. Like I was like, you know what I mean? It was like, holy crap! Like these guys are out there doing it. Like it was pretty cool to see that, man. Like you guys were on the forefront of all that racing, big time.
Yeah, well, it's cool to see, someone like yourself work as hard as you have to get, to first of all see someone else that you saw doing it and be like, you know what, I want to do that. And then actually sticking with it and putting your heart and soul into it, because I really, really see that you've done that and done a good job at, pushing forward and not taking no for an answer, and, pushing yourself to get in a car, keep it going, get your sponsors. And it's a lot of work. So, you've done a good job at building your own program and doing that yourself. So, my hat's off to you as well.
Thanks, man. I had some good teachers, good mentors. So, but it was cool.
Thanks.
Like, I thought it was fantastic to see those guys. And you guys won how many championships in the beginning stages of the Lucas Off-Road Series?
We got two championships and like multiple wins. I wish we knew,
like tons and tons of wins.
Yeah. I wish we knew what we knew now going back there, but there's a huge learning curve. So, glad that we did that series and we had fun with it, and maybe we'll go back there and mess around at some point again when things kind of slow down with our business.
So your brother Jason Merrell was on episode 1 of the show. He helped kick it off, and I remember telling him, you guys, I will remember so many different battles because I was in the 900 class and you guys were in the 1000 class, and you guys were just like battling it out with so many dudes all the time. And I remember one time when I raced against your brother in Wheatland, Missouri, and he came into a corner so fast in his RZR. Like, I remember coming off the track and being like, I should just load up and go home because there's never any way that I'm going to be able to keep up with those cojones. Like, he had
Ask
like
for your rhino
balls
back.
of steel going to this corner. I was like, Jesus Christ. And Jeremy even has more cojones than his brother does. It's pretty awesome to see that, man. So that's why you guys were out there winning championships at the beginning, dude.
Pushing. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's funny. Somehow, my brother and I would always end up right next to each other on the starting line. So it's like we were always just battling against each other the whole time.
That's awesome.
So it always seemed like
it was always towards the front, though, which was pretty cool to see.
Yeah, it's where we tried to stay. That's for sure.
It was neat to see the progression too, though. Like, what was your favorite car to race? Like, did you like the 900s, or like, when you graduated the 1000 class? Like, which one did you like better? Because both were pretty competitive when you were in them.
Yeah, no, I'd definitely say that racing in the XP Turbo is my favorite for sure. The level of power between the 900 and that, plus the suspension, it's just like racing a completely different car. So,
dude, I remember one time
the technology is crazy.
I remember one time, I forgot where it was. It was at Elsinore or Glen Helen. We so they used to kind of run us separate. Like, we were in the 1000 class, the normally aspirated class, and you were in the turbo class. But they would put you guys behind us for some reason. And I was thinking in my head, like, when we were taking off, because I was like in the front 4 or something, and I was like, dude, I don't even like. Maybe I could just pass all these guys and get out to the front of my class. But my whole goal is to not have Jeremy fucking pass me, like, because he was so much faster. Like, I was like, this guy's gonna catch us, and then lo and behold, at the end of the race, I'm fucking right behind me, and I'm like, God dang it, dude.
That's funny. No, they would do that just so it was like a better show, So all the cars are battling, getting past the ones that didn't have a turbo. So, dude, definitely wasn't fair.
But how the heck did you do it? Like, without getting in some car, you had to pass like 20 cars to get up to the front of both fields, though. That's crazy.
Yeah, you definitely have to watch yourself race in the Lucas series because it's door-to-door battles for sure, and make good moves, make smart decisions. A lot of guys would make big mistakes. So just trying to capitalize on little mistakes is the goal in that series for sure.
Well, you guys did definitely a good job, man. So you guys won
Well,
championships,
thanks.
and you guys obviously did well in there. But and before we get into desert racing and stuff, the Dirt Life show is here because of the people. And one thing that I know that you guys are very, very good at is, well, obviously being friends with everybody, but you've met some pretty awesome people down the line racing razors. I mean, it's pretty cool to see. I mean, you know Jason Ellis, you've met some very, very good off-road racers, you've met some celebrities and stuff, and a lot of that is parlayed into some of the photography and stuff that you do now as well, right?
Yeah, well, I had a production company for, the past 20 years, and that's kind of how I got my start into off-road. I was doing some content creation for Monster Energy, and I'd get sent out with Robbie Gordon on quite a few shoots. So my real introduction to off-road racing was flying in a helicopter, chasing Robbie Gordon at 120 miles an hour, and then getting an opportunity. This is probably when I was 18, and then getting an opportunity to jump in his trophy truck and go for a ride. And I think that really, I've been off-roading in my little trucks and stuff like that, since I got my license and got a lifted truck. But getting in a trophy truck that could do the type of stuff that vehicle can do just really opened my eyes to what was possible, and kind of jump-started me into having a passion for off-road and off-road racing, and really made me fall in love with it.
That is pretty cool, man. And that's kind of the same path that I took too. Like, I got hurt when I was racing dirt bikes, and then I got into computer stuff, and it kind of gave me the same thing too. Like, Casey Curry introduced me to the off-road stuff, and it was pretty cool to see that, man. And it kind of shows what your passion is, you know what I mean? Like, you obviously have a day job too, but everything that you do is to put effort back into your passions.
Right.
And that's what Jeremy and I both did too. It's neat to see that. Well, when you started doing that, you obviously have met some really cool people along the way. You don't do anything with Monster anymore. You do some stuff with Rockstar now as well, right?
Right. So, right out of high school, they used to do these summer winter action tours, which was kind of the high school trips where they went snowboarding, and they took senior classes down to Mexico for senior trips. And the guys that were running that ended up going to Rockstar. So I had those relationships since high school. And, one of my buddies that is the off-road director for Rockstar, he wanted to get into doing a little bit of racing. And when the opportunity came up to start racing side-by-sides, I asked if he wanted to be on the team. And he actually raced with us for 2 years, Jordan from Rockstar. And he kind of helped us, solidify our deal with Rockstar and helped us get involved with them. And, Rockstar has been working with us for the past 6 years. So it's been a good company to do stuff with. And we do a lot of fun trips with them too. Like, we just went to Pismo Beach, did a trip with them there. And then we went to Pirate Cove Resort and did a trip with them there, where basically we just kind of did more or less of a film trip with all the off-road guys and Rockstar models and stuff like that.
Well, that's one of the things that we wanted to talk about with you is giving back to your sponsors and showing support for them and things like that, so that people can understand a little bit more about how relationships work in the off-road industry, instead of being just I deserve to be sponsored because I'm a race car driver. So it'd be neat to get your opinion on that. But before we do, you guys got into desert racing after the short course stuff, right?
Yeah. So, while we were racing short course, we started building the desert car because we saw a lot of the support in that direction. It just seemed like if you were going to be an off-road racer, the starting ground is, some of the short course stuff, and the big boys are going to the desert. So we wanted to move to the desert, and we actually raced a full season of short course and a full season of desert 3 years ago when we made that transition. And that was just too much. It was a lot of racing. Not that I wouldn't love to just race as much as I possibly can, but guys like us, we're running a business and doing that, so we had to choose what we wanted to do. And so we decided to go completely into desert racing and pull our short course program. And I think that was a good decision because we really enjoy racing in the desert, and it's a lot more challenging. There's a lot more things that could come up, and you got to be a lot more prepared, but it's fun. Some of the funnest things that I've done have been racing with my brother, and we did Vegas to Reno, and we're just like having a good time, laughing, driving up through these pine forests, just through beautiful areas, and really enjoying ourselves. And even when we break down or something breaks, getting out and yell at each other and trying to get the car fixed as fast as possible, get back on the track.
Those are dirt life memories that you'll never forget. I mean, you have memories like that, maybe not racing, but at the dunes and stuff like that
plenty.
too.
Yeah, plenty.
Those are so cool. I love to hear stories like that, man, because it really puts the human element back into it, and you really understand how blessed you are to be able to do things like that.
Yep. Yeah. One of the races that is pretty memorable to me in October, I was racing the Nora 400, which is down in Mexico, and probably shouldn't even share this story because I think my mom's watching the show. and she definitely doesn't know this one. But when you're driving to Mexico, obviously you got to be very aware of what's going on, which I was. But we just came down through the pine forest, and I was trying to make a couple passes on some vehicles that we were gaining on. And there's just like big rolling hills. And we were catching some air off, and I was doing about 60 miles an hour. And one of the hills, I came off of it, in the air, there was a farmer coming backwards on the road in a little beat up truck. And, that was one of the moments where like Jesus just took the wheel, because I don't even know how I made it past this guy, but we literally like came straight for him, and I turned the wheel and barely drove by the front of his car. And my co-driver's like, woo! I saw the whites of his eyeballs.
Oh man.
Hey, your mom just typed in, yes, I am.
Yeah. Hi, Linda.
It's so nice, now she knows.
Well, Linda's going to be calling you later.
Oh,
dude.
you're in trouble.
And we actually had Danielle chime in, too, saying Facebook was cutting in and out. Well, we're sorry, girl. It looks like the connection is a little bit better now, so hopefully you can see us. Maybe the switching over to YouTube would be a good idea. I know YouTube streaming is a little bit better. So to get back to it, what was some of your favorite desert races before we start talking about the sponsorship stuff?
Honestly, that Mexico race was probably my favorite race, just because there's just something about being in Mexico. I'm in love with the place, and I'm sure that anybody who has spent time down in Baja can say the same thing. Just the terrain down there is absolutely beautiful, and the experience and the people and the type of racing that it is. I'd say that's been my favorite desert race so far. And, I like the Mint 400. I like the notoriety of it and the Vegas vibe, and the Martellis put on a really good event. So I would say that those two races are probably my favorites.
And we had Kristen Matlock on. We're going to get Wayne Matlock on, I think, here soon. And she was saying the same thing about the vibe and stuff down in Mexico. How, you have obviously the fans and the kids, and you give them stickers. I've seen you guys obviously do that as well. But it's pretty cool to see that, too. I've never done an actual desert race down there. I've only done the short course race with you guys. But that was a pretty fun time, man. It's a whole different world when you get to go to a race like that, because it's not the same as it is in the United States.
No, it's definitely a whole nother world, and I think that's what makes it special, Yeah,
absolutely. And the appreciation for that those people have is like bar none. It's like,
they're just so happy.
Yeah, it's really cool to see that. Or what races are you guys going to do this year? Are you guys going to do any? Or are you guys going to focus on building parts with the UTV Wolfpack?
Well, a lot of the things that we've been focusing on now is creating media content. Like, we just went to Mammoth. We put snow tracks on our RZR, and we actually took a veteran out and put him in the car and let him drive it. So,
Dude, that's
in
rad.
that aspect, being able to give back, to a disabled veteran and show him our appreciation, and put a smile on his and his wife's face, and see that was pretty cool. And then just focusing on media content, and we're definitely doing the UTV World Championships, Little Snow Grand Prix. And we'll be at the Mint 400. Unfortunately, we're not going to be racing it this time. But if you guys come up to us and find us at the Mint 400, we will be giving out free Wolfpack T-shirts. So we printed a lot of shirts for this event. We're going to walk around and just hook up racers and fans. And so find me or my brother at the Mint 400 and say, hey, we saw you on the Dirt Life show, and we're looking for our free T-shirt.
Dude, yeah, definitely do it. And I don't know if they can see like a full clear picture of it, but their Wolfpack logo is like one of the sickest like logos that they have, man.
Really cool.
So
this is the shirt right here.
Yeah,
that we'll
look at that,
away.
dude. That's badass.
Yeah.
Dude, hell yeah.
So
well, save one for me, man.
Yep, no problem.
Oh wait,
got you, bro.
George has to go to the Mint 400 to pick one up. That's what I'm gonna go look for him.
Yeah.
Well, that'll
you should come anyway.
I was thinking about it. I actually was. I don't know. I don't want to be the dude that has this janky little podcast that comes up and films everything. I want to kind of just go and hang out with everybody and see how it works, because there's already a bunch of other people that are going to be covering the event. So I don't want to be that dude that steps on anybody's feet or anything. I want to just come.
Just come hang out.
Yeah, that's kind of what I was thinking. Eat some tacos with you guys.
Yeah, it's always a good time.
So yeah, that's cool, man. I think that's really cool. So there's two things that we want to talk about, and then we'll talk about the sponsorship. So obviously, you guys have the UTV Wolfpack. You make parts. You make Polaris parts, Can-Am parts, and other vehicle parts, right? Can you explain a little bit more about that?
Yeah, so kind of describe what we do a little bit. The reason that we started making these parts in the first place was there was just a real need for it at that point. There's a lot more companies now, but back when we were racing the 900, we were bending parts, breaking parts, and we needed to make these cars stronger to be able to withstand the rigors of off-road and be able to make these cars last while we're racing. So that's why we started building parts, and we started off with building radius rods, and then it's kind of developed into a full parts line. We build parts for, the Polaris, Can-Am, Yamaha. We're working on some of the other OEMs. And we make really good parts that a lot of races are happy with, and it's helping people be able to finish races. And that makes us, super stoked to see guys running our stuff and out there battling and be able to finish. Because, let's face it, these desert races are tough and they beat your cars up. So if you can make it to that finish line without broken parts, then, we've done our job, and we're stoked about that.
100%.
But we make cages, we make full suspension. We got,
and it's not just for racers, too. It's you guys do play stuff, too. One of the things that you were talking about was having some of those parts in a trip that you just did to Hawaii, right?
Yeah, so, to follow up with what you're saying, the parts that we build are race quality parts, but most of our customers that buy these are enthusiasts that just want to build their car to be stronger and better and be able to withstand, going and playing really hard and, driving through rock terrains, jumping their cars, pushing it to limits. Because let's face it, all of us guys, I don't care who you are, you get in one of these machines, you're going to want to beat it as hard as you can and jump it and have fun in it, right? So whether you're a racer or not, let's upgrade those parts and make the car as strong as possible so you're not on the side of the road and all your buddies are trying to help you get your car back to the truck,
Yeah, and as safe as possible with one of the cages that you guys make, too.
Yep, safety is a huge thing. That's our number one priority. I think the first thing you want to do when you get one of these vehicles is replace the cage because, unfortunately, the OEM one's not going to be able to withstand some bad rolls or crashes. So
yeah,
safety's our first priority for sure.
We've all tested those parts out. That's for sure.
Yes.
Well, you said we were going to talk about the content creation next, but it kind of merges together in one of the projects that you did. You just went to Hawaii and had a little project where you showed off, obviously, some of the parts, but you also got to do some content creation and have some fun, right?
Yeah. So, Jason, Kona Captain, and Kells, the guys over there have been buying parts from us for about the past year. And then 7-8 months ago, we had two completely built Wolfpack cars, which were kind of our show vehicles, a red one and a blue one. And they wanted to buy them. So we shipped them over to Hawaii, and those guys have been, doing weekend trips with their buddies and kind of living the Wolfpack life. Like a whole group of guys out there that all run our parts. They're all hardcore Wolfpack drivers, and they got their own little crew out there, and they've been inviting me out for some time now. And finally I had the opportunity to make the trip. I brought my camera equipment and we went out and filmed some really killer stuff with them. So that's all in the cutting room right now. And I can't wait to post that stuff and show you guys, because these dudes are hardcore Razor and Wolfpack enthusiasts that are out there living the Hawaiian Razor life. Dude, so it's really cool to see them doing it out there like we do it here,
That's so cool.
I didn't even know. I had no, you think because it's the island, most of it's all bought up or owned by something.
Yep.
So the type of riding out there is probably amazing, but in the areas that you have. But how big have you experienced it? Have you ridden on that terrain yet out there?
As you talk about this, Jeremy, I'm going to put some on the live feed. I'm going to put up some pictures. So keep talking about this.
Yeah. So One other time I was on Oahu and I did one of the, little UTV tours where they kind of take you up through some of the farmland. And I was in one of the rangers that they have. And all I remember from that whole trip was the guy yelling at me because I was like driving it too fast. And I was like, kept stopping the whole group and being like, one more time, we're going to have to like turn around and end this trip. And, I was getting one of those going. So that kind of like bummed me out a little bit. So I had to go back and do it the real way in a RZR 1000 turbo. Nice. And it definitely was awesome being able to be in Hawaii and ride through some of the jungle type of terrain there, cruise along the beach, go have lunch down by Black Sand Beach that's there on the Big Island in Kona, and really try to really experience what RZR life Hawaii is. And I'm definitely very fortunate to be able to have that opportunity, and I'm super stoked that those guys invited me over, and they treated me like, first class the whole time I was there. So I was super pumped to be there with them and get to enjoy that time.
That sounds like such a rad experience.
I didn't know that they had that lifestyle over there because of, like I said, it's just
you would think it's more of like a surfing lifestyle, but now having that RZR lifestyle too, that actually lines up pretty good with your vibe though too, because you love being in the water and stuff too. So that was probably perfect. You get the best of all those worlds.
Yeah, I'm gonna have to go back. The guy that put me up, it's pretty sick. Like, he's got a pretty killer program. He's got a 50-acre ranch there, and he's also got a tour company. So he does dolphin tours, and then he does dolphin tours and manta ray tours, and he's kind of got that kind of running. So in his free time, he's just basically in the process of building a full track on his property, so he could rip his RZR around and then just really be able to enjoy himself and have fun. And, maybe in the future here, we'll have some Wolfpack RZR tours in Hawaii.
Dude, how sick would that be? How jealous was Jason, your brother, to get that? Like, he's probably like, dude, I want to go fishing down there.
Well, apparently he was at King of the Hammers, and everybody kept coming up to him going, it's like blowing wind and freezing cold out there. And I think it was almost rain. It was like raining one of the nights. And they're like, dude, your brother's over in Hawaii, and you got King of the Hammers. How did you guys work that one out? He's like, yeah, I know. My brother's a jerk, huh? And I'm over there like in my tank top and my flip flops, enjoying the sun.
Dude, so, did you get to catch any waves when you were out there?
Unfortunately, like, my time was short there, so I spent most of my time hanging out with the RZR boys and doing that. I got to go over and watch the Vulcan Pipe Pro contest, the surf contest from the Quicksilver House. Yeah. So I was there for that, but I didn't really have that much time. I didn't bring any of my kiteboarding gear. I got to get in the water, but I was kind of like loaded with stuff to do, unfortunately. So I'm going to have to take a play trip back soon and take my kiteboarding gear and go get wet.
Dude, yeah, that would be pretty cool, man. Well, I'm glad that you guys have all those opportunities. And for people that don't understand or don't realize all of the work that these guys put in, I can attest to it. When they were racing, they were doing the media company that Jeremy is operating. They were doing all the UTV Wolfpack stuff. So the guys are working, 40 hours a week at their normal jobs. They're working another 40, 50 hours a week at their side hustle. And then they're working another, let's just say 40 or 50 hours a week on their racing hustle. So the key here is just hard work. Like, if you want to achieve those dreams and you want to be able to participate in cool things like going down to Hawaii and having fun, or putting on snow tracks on your RZR and having a fun time like that, you just have to work hard.
Well, that's what he just said. I mean, it was like he was in Hawaii and he didn't get time to go hit a wave or anything close to it,
But he still got to experience some really cool stuff, so it's neat. And to parlay into what we were going to talk about on, I guess, our last topic or whatever, you kind of want to talk about, some of the up-and-comers, people that are getting into side-by-side racing, what they can do to help themselves and kind of understand how to get partners and things like that, didn't you?
Yeah, I think that when you look at sponsorships, don't look at companies like, what can they do for me? Look at like what you can do for them. And with that being said, you really need to like look at their marketing, their marketing structure and ask them, say, what are your guys' goals? what are your guys' goals with working with someone like myself that could race, can bring you into a new market that they might not be in? And if they're already in the UTV industry, what can you do to separate yourself from other people? A lot of these guys think that just going out there and racing is all that you need to do. But if you really want help from some of these bigger companies, you need to invest the time into, helping them, get content. Content's a very important thing to these companies, and they need that. So if you don't have buddies that are, professional photographers, tell your dad to take a couple pictures of you while you're on the track, or, get that stuff to be able to bring back and give to your sponsors after a race, doing a race report, no matter how you did. You know what I mean? If you did good, you did bad. Everybody has their days, but, pay that extra money, throw a photographer $100, get some photos of yourself, try to do some Instagram, videos, try to get some content. And as you keep racing, as you grow, that stuff's going to expand and get better. But just realize that these companies, that's what they're looking for. And if you can be someone that provides them with stuff, then you'll stand out. And I can't tell you how many companies I've started working with where they're like, oh, well, we used to work with this one racer, and he said that he was going to do this and that, and we never ended up getting anything out of him. Don't be that guy.
Yeah.
Be the guy that's, going to take, if they give you money, take a little bit of that money and say, hey, I'm going to take a certain percentage of that. I'm going to give it to a photographer. I'm going to give it to a video guy. I'm going to create some content around me that you can share with your sponsors. And I think that's the most important thing. And look at the guys that are successful at it right now, and watch the content that they're putting out, and, kind of emulate them a little bit because they're doing it.
Yeah, 100%. I definitely agree with that.
That's very good.
And it's all about giving back, too. Like what we talked about when we introduced our sponsors. It's the people that matter, right? And it's the quality of partnership that you have with them. Like you wouldn't have a wife if you were only thinking about yourself the whole time, right? So it's very, very related. So do you still have a dirt bike?
Yep.
All
I
right.
got a dirt bike. I got a CR 450F.
So let's develop some content. We're going to do a ride across the country in September, starting from Oregon down to South Carolina, if you want to go.
Sounds like a good time.
Yeah, it should be pretty fun. We're going to try to raise some money for spinal cord research of Red Bull Wings for Life, and see if we can, by the end of the 5-year plan, we're going to try to see if we can raise $1 million for them, because Red Bull times it by 2, so that'd be $3 million to go into spinal cord research if we can do it.
That'd be awesome.
So we'll see.
Yeah, we do a dirt bike ride. Well, we haven't done it the last 2 years, but me, my brother Jared, and Josh would do the FMF Baja Bonanza, which is a 3-day ride in Mexico with the guys from FMF. So that's always a good time.
So how does that work? Like, what's that ride?
So basically, we would go down to the KOH and start off there, park our trucks, and then ride to Mike's Sky Ranch, then go down to Coyote Cows, and like McGrath, like bunch of industry people would be on that ride, and it's just all the boys, like 25 industry people from the motocross world, just getting together, having a good time, and sharing the Baja lifestyle and love for that place.
Dude, that's super cool. Yeah, and that's kind of what
single track rides and tacos.
Dude, that's like a dream for me. I'm gonna dream good tonight thinking about that. So we'd love
a good time.
We'd love for you and your brother and whoever else to join if we do go across the country in September. I think it'd be pretty cool to have everybody there. We definitely want to take some of your advice and generate some content and pay anybody that supports us back. That's for sure. Well, is there anything you want to say? Like maybe sorry to Linda and you didn't mean it?
Yeah. Sorry, Linda.
We really appreciate you taking all the time with us today, dude. It's pretty awesome to see all the positive stuff that you guys are doing.
No, I appreciate you guys having me on the show. Anybody that's seen the show and wants to get a discount on some aluminum radius rods, just call us, this week and let us know that I said you can have them for $325 and they're normally $500. Damn. Just say Dirt Life Show.
Sweet. Awesome. Yeah.
Right there, man. Hashtag support who supports you, man.
Yeah, exactly.
That's what it's about.
Yeah.
So, you can call over there and get some Wolfpack parts.
It's sick, man.
Just say that you were on you saw Jeremy on the Dirt Life show. Well, you can also go back to episode 1 and talk to or listen to Jason too.
Yeah.
So that's pretty cool. Thank you guys.
Awesome, man.
Thank you guys very much for being a huge supporter of me in the beginning, and obviously you guys are still around to support us now too. Your brother Josh just chimed in and said, "Great show, boys." So tell your brother Josh, Jason, everybody. Tell your sister, your mom, your dad, everybody. We said hi. Tell all the little kids we miss them.
We will.
We miss you guys,
Yep.
and hopefully we'll see you soon, dude.
Awesome.
Yeah. Next time you guys need to have my brother Josh. We didn't really get to talk too much about him, but my brother Josh partners with Kerry Hart and Huntington and raced Pro 4 for 6 years. Had a huge off-road racing program in the short course off-road Lucas Series.
Yeah, let's do
You
that.
guys need to get you guys need to get Josh on the show.
I think that would actually be a really good idea.
Yeah.
Let's do something where we can get everybody together, though, because every time I talk to you guys, I get so happy I want to see you guys. Maybe what I'll do is I'll drive out there and we can do it from your shop, or maybe we'll do it down at Josh's place, and we'll all sit together and we'll have a live show out there. We'll do some tacos or some pizza or something, and I'll hang out.
I'm down. Let me know.
Sweet, dude. All right. Well, I'll message you in the next few days here, and we'll get some things going. Well, thank you very much. If anybody wants to get a hold of Jeremy or any of the UTV Wolfpack people, his brother, any of the workers there, it's at UTV Wolfpack on Instagram, and Facebook is just UTV Wolfpack, but it's Jeremy.Merrell, Merrell on Instagram as well. You can hit those guys up, and any other ways that you want to have people get a hold of you, Jeremy?
They can just go to our website or drop us an email at utvwolfpack@gmail.com.
Okay, cool. Well, before we hang up with you, Brian Lopez, my crew chief, says, "What's up, Jeremy?" And Jason.
What up, Brian?
Jason Merrell says, "Mason says hi." So, hi, Mason. Miss you guys. We'll see you guys as soon as possible. Thanks again, bud. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Yep, anytime. Thank you guys for having me.
All right, bud. Well, we'll see you later. Thanks. Thank you very much, Jeremy Merrell, for being on the show.
Yep, thank you.
That's pretty awesome, man. We really appreciate him coming on and hanging out, dude. It's really cool that
It's pretty cool.
it's just neat to see all the stuff that he's been doing, man. Like, he does so much cool stuff. Like, not to mention, he does cool stuff, but not to mention all of the great things that he does for other people. You know what I mean? Like, him and his brother genuinely enjoy their lives. They work their ass off and support their families and just have a good time, man. And it's very, very few and far between that people understand the true value of life. You do.
Yeah.
It's taken us a while in our old age to be able to understand it, but
It hits home to me, man. I just like helping people, and I've you know me, man, I've never asked anything in return.
Yep, ever.
I've always just pushed, because at the end of the day, this world's changed so much, man.
Dude,
And
for real.
It's really hard to find good people anymore. I mean, people change, people grow. That's part of life, but at the end of the day, you keep doing what you're doing, make yourself happy.
Yeah, exactly. Well, on that note, we'll talk about a little bit about our next guest. His life has changed quite a bit. So next Monday, we're going to have a gentleman by the name of Jesse Nelson on the show. Jesse was a factory supercross racer for Troy Lee Designs Red Bull KTM racing team, and unfortunately, he was broken. He was paralyzed in an accident racing dirt bikes. He's been through some trials and tribulations in his life, and his life has changed quite a bit as well. But he's made the best out of it, just like what you were talking about, the point that you were making right now. And he's now getting into side-by-side racing. Cool. He uses hand controls in his Polaris Razor, but he's doing a fantastic job. He's doing very similar to what Jeremy was just saying. He's really getting into content creation. He's very, very adamant about being a good partner for all of his sponsors. So we can't wait to talk to Jesse next week, man. It's going to be pretty awesome to have him on the show. So that'll be a fun show to have for sure. Thank you very, very much, everybody, for tuning in. We really appreciate it. We want to thank our sponsors. Here, let you thank Shock Therapy.
Man, all right, you guys, amazing in every way possible. You've definitely turned my as people call it, the wedgie of the side-by-side world, because that's what it looks like, and it's always in it.
Oh, you mean the wedgie?
They make fun of it, and I am in love with it, and I'm forever Yamaha. I mean,
it sounds like your car's working really good now.
It's smooth. It's solid. You guys produce a really good product, and I suggest anybody who has not been through shock therapy yet, hop on board with that crew, man, because they're a very good family-oriented company. I've said this before, and I'll say it again. Amazing people.
Well, even if they don't have the budget to go out and get their shocks done, maybe come see what you're up to. Go for a ride in your car or
check
something.
it out. I mean, that's all I could tell you. It's a huge – I've watched every video there is possible on YouTube about their race team, Justin in general, everybody, and they're just solid people, man. I can't – it's crazy.
And what code can they use to get a discount?
Dirt Life, or even 520 side by side.
Yeah, that's your page too.
Yep.
So there's all kinds of ways for you guys to get discounts. So call and say that you know me or Cody. Say that you know the Dirt Life. Say that you know 520 side by side, and help the companies that support us. Those guys do a fantastic job, and in fact, they do Jeremy and Jason Merrell suspension as well. So
cool.
it's nice to have all of those guys incorporated together. Really, really solid people. You can also use the code DIRTLIFE at ZolaRacingProducts.com. Get yourself some parts from those guys. Very fantastic company there, and solder weld too. Go buy one of their repair kits because you're going to need it one of these days. I can promise you that. God knows we have. And like I said, we have Jesse Nelson coming up. I want to thank everybody for tuning in. Thank you very much, Cody, for coming into the show and hanging out, dude.
Yep. It's been good.
I know you're a busy dude. And jump on Cody's 520 side-by-side page too and check it out because there's
doing lots of events, man, coming up. We did the one for you at Help with Brink and Tiffany, and a lot of good people behind that. So,
well, we're going to post some stuff on social media, my personal social media and the Dirt Life social media page with some thank you stuff and some really cool things that you guys did for me that are still coming to fruition these days. Like it's dude, I almost want to tear up every episode because I keep thinking about how much people actually care. It is so freaking awesome. Yeah. Just being at the dunes and understanding how much people actually care for other people. It's just bitching. In this case, me. So thank you, everybody. We care about you just as much as you care about us. So keep tuning into the show. We love you guys very much. We will see you guys next week. Good night.
Thanks for listening to The Dirt Life Show.